Hi friends, thank you for 3 likes in my previous video. So today we are going to discuss Code Chef Cook-Off July Cook-Off. So we have Anuj with us today. So Anuj, please introduce yourself.
Hey guys, this is Anuj and I am pursuing fourth year BTech from IIT Roorkee. So it is great to join Abhishek in this discussion. So Abhishek,
Okay,
you can proceed.
okay, thank you. So the first problem is we have two positive integers and we can increment each value by one, and we can do this any number of times, and we need to find the minimum number of steps after which we can get the GCD of x and y greater than 1. So these are the examples that are given in the question. So let's go to the solution. So what we are saying, if their GCD is already greater than 1, then we don't have to do anything. We will just print 0. And if um, and one another case is that if we can add 1 to a first element, or one to increment 1 to another element and take their GCD, and if GCD is greater than 1, then our answer is 1, otherwise our answer will be 2. So I will explain the logic behind that answer cannot be greater than 2. What our case are, if two numbers are even, then we will always have a GCD of 2, and if one of the number is odd, uh, one of the number is odd, then we can uh, increment this odd number by 1, and then this odd number will also become even. So the GCD of 2 even will come to be 2. So in this case, our total steps is equal to 1, and our final case is odd and odd. So in this case there are two possible answers, that is 1 and 2. So uh, like if we have 3 and 9, so we cannot do it in one step. We need four two step, that is increment 3 by 1 we will have 4, and increment 9 by 1 we will have 10. So this 2 becomes even, and we have GCD of 2. So our number of steps is 2. And another case is
Hello,
uh,
slight correction, Abhishek. In 3,9 there is already GCD equal to 3, so no need to
okay.
increment.
uh, let's take another other example, 3 comma 5. So it will become 6. Okay, now okay. So next example is 3 comma, let's say we have 35. So in this case we do not have to increase both the values, we can just increase the second value, so that we will have our GCD as 2 and our answer would be 1. So the worst example in our solution is two prime numbers. In this case, we will need to increment this both of the two, and we will have our maximum number steps as 2. So yeah, this was the solution. So now let's go to
We can use another example apart from 3,5 because in 3,5 also we can increment just 5 and we can get 6, 3,6 by
yeah
just
yeah
one
yeah yeah.
increment.
Yeah. If we take 7, like, so we need to increment, I think, both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's discuss the second question, that is uh, chef an infinite plane. So what this question says, we have n integers and we need to divide each integer into x and y such that x and y equal to ai, and x and y are both positive, that is greater than 0, and we need to get points in a two-dimensional coordinate, and we have to get the maximum distinct points as possible. So What are the max? First, let's have a look at what are the maximum number of points we can get. So, if AI equal to 2, we can have only 1 point. If AI equal to 3, then we can have 2 points, that is 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 1. And if AI is equal to 4, then we can have 3 points, 1 comma 3, 2 comma 2 and 3 comma 1. So uh, in each of the cases we can see that we are having number of points equal to AI minus 1. That is, in case of AI equal to 4, we are having 3 points. Here we are having 2 points, here we are having 1 point. So what our solution is, first of all, uh, count all the number of occurrence, like we are doing here in the count vector, and then we are incrementing our answer as minimum of count I comma I minus 1, where I is this, where I is this values AI. So we are making this for loop from I equal to 2 to uh, e5 plus 1, that is the highest possible value given in the question. So in this manner we are calculating our answer. Anuj, do you have any doubt or correction?
Yeah, just a doubt in this approach. Why we have make a count array of this huge size? Can't we make a vector of left side?
We can make a map of integers, but the size was small, that is 1e5. Therefore we can just make a vector or array of 10 to the power 5 plus 1.
Okay, okay. So space constraints are not that much. Okay, so
Yeah.
this yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the third question, that is a XOR ORed. So what this question says, that we have an array of integers and we need to find an integer x such that if we take XOR of x with each of the element of the array, then after that we will take OR of every element, then we need to find the minimum value possible. So let's have a look at one of the example in which AI are 4 and 6. So if we write 4 as binary, then we will have 100, and if we write 6 as binary, then we will have 110. So let's say we will take OR of these two numbers, then it will be 1 1 0. And now we need to find a number x such that if we take XOR of x with this and XOR of x with this, so that our final answer should be minimum. So what our concept in this question is that, let's have a look at the most significant bit, leftmost bit. In this case both of the bits are 1. So if we flip both the bits, then it would be 0 here, 0 here, and in our answer it would again be 0. So our answer get decremented. So this is our optimal step. And if we look at the second bit, then in one case it is 0 and in another case it is 1. So uh, let's say a middle bit of our x is 1. So if we take XOR of, let's say our x is 0 1 0, okay. So if we take XOR of x with this, so our number will become 0 1 0, and our second number will become 0 0 0. Okay, so our answer will again become 0 1 0. So we can see that there is no effect of taking bit equal to 1 in this case, because we have different values in the middle bit in our array. So uh, what is the optimal solution? If all the bits are 1, then there is a point of flipping it, otherwise there is no point of flipping. So how to calculate Rx? If all the bits at this position, at kth position is 1, then the kth position in Rx is also 1, otherwise it would be 0. So like in this case of 4 and 6, the third bit is both 1, so our x will contain 1 at the third bit. The second bit is 0 in one case, so it would be 0, and the third bit is again 0. So we will take 0 in this case because we do not have to increase our answer. If we take 1 in this case, then both the bit will become 1, and our answer will also have 1 uh, at this place. So yeah, this was the solution. So let's have a look at the code. We are taking input and we are making a vector, that is overall bit, in which we are calculating if the bit at the kth place is 1 or 0, and we are calculating this in these two for loops. One is from 0 to n and other is from 0 to 32, in which we are calculating our set bit like this, and finally we get our all bit vector as 0 and 1, and we are calculating our answer using this vector, and finally we are printing our x here. And one another task we have to do in this question is that we need to convert the original array by taking XOR, and we need to print the OR of that array, that is the final minimum answer. So we have copied the previous array in another vector, that is b, and finally we are taking XOR of each element of b with our answer and printing our the OR value of whole array. So yeah, Anuj, do you have any doubt?
Yeah, pretty much good solution. It may seem lengthy, but the time complexity is, I think, best. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think we can just take if we take AND of all of the bits, like if we take AND of 4 and 6, then we can also get the same answer. That's what we are doing in R. That's what we are doing in these two for loops. So let's say uh, let's just try this approach. I think I have made this very complicated solution. I think we do not have the option to submit now. Okay, we can submit it in practice. So yeah, this solution also works. We are doing the same thing in that two for loops. Okay, so now do you have any doubt?
Yeah, guys. Yeah, as you can see, the length of the code is now shorter. So this is now more understandable code.
Yeah, it is
Okay. Now
faster
we can go to
because
next
we are
question.
calculating, and that is bitwise operation, which is more efficient in case of performance. So now we'll go. So our next question is mod equality. So what this question says that we have an array of element and we can take modulo of that number with any element, and finally we need to create an array of element in which all the elements are equal. So let's have a look at the example. So we have example 2 comma 1 comma 3. So what we can do, we can take modulo of 2 with 2, so it will become 0. We can take modulo of 1 with 1, then it will become 0. And we can take modulo of 3 with 3, so it will again become 0. So this is our the worst case in which we need to convert all the element to 0. So our number of steps is 3. Another example is 113. So in this case what we are saying, do not take mod of 1 with anyone, so it will stay with 1. Second element also stay with 1, and take modulo of 3 with 2, so 3 modulo 2 will become 1. So in this case all the elements become equal and our total number of steps is 1. So what we are saying, we can either convert the whole array into 0, or we can convert the whole array into the minimum element of that array. Why minimum element? If we do not take the minimum element, let's say we have 113 and we are saying that we need to convert the whole element into 3, then that is not possible because we cannot convert 1 into 3. Okay, so yeah, either we can convert whole array into 0, or we can convert whole array into the minimum element. So yeah, this we are checking this in our code and we are making a boolean, that is can we convert the whole array into the minimum element of that array. So what are the conditions for converting our array to the minimum element array? So like we have, if we have 112, then we cannot convert it into 111 because 2 cannot be converted into 1. 2 can be converted into either 0 or 2. Okay, so if we have 2 2,
Slight correction. Slight correction. 2 can only be converted into 0.
2 can be if we do not change 2, then it will stay as 2. That's why I have written 0 comma 2.
Okay.
2 can
Okay.
be 0 or 2. So if we have 2 to 5, and then if we try to convert it into 2 to 2, so this we can do because 5 can be converted into 2 by taking modulo with 3. Okay, so if our array is 3, 3 and 5, and we are saying we need to convert it into 3, 3 and 3, then we cannot do this because if we take a module, if we cannot take modulo of 5 with any number to get 3. So what the concept is, if our minimum value that we are trying to achieve in the final array should be less than n by 2. Okay, so in this case 5 by 2 is equal to 2.5, and 3 is greater than 2.5, then we cannot convert this array into this. And if our array is 2 comma 2 comma 5, then we can convert this array into 2 comma 2 comma 2 comma 2 because 2 is less than 2.5. So yeah, this is what we are checking in
I
our.
think I
Yeah,
think it is not clear what the n by 2 is representing. Is it representing the second largest, second smallest element in the array?
yeah, we can either check with second smallest or all of the element, because if it pass with the second smallest, then it will pass with others too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty
like
much
if
clear.
we have 8 here, then like if we have 8 here, Okay, so we can, if we can convert 5 into 2, then we can convert 8 into 2 also. So yeah, instead of writing more code to find second smallest element, I am checking with all of the element except the same element, except to its to itself. So yeah, for each element of a, I is representing, you can check the auto function on the internet. In I we will get each element of a, and if it is not equal to minimum value element, that is minimum element in this case 2. So if it is not equal to that, we are checking if the minimum value is greater than n by 2 or not. Like you can check, you can this all are the code implementation, you can think it by yourself. Else we are just calculating the number of count of minimum elements. This can be done in the separate for loop also. And if we can do that, then we are printing our answer as n minus count, that is in this case n equal to 4. This n is different. In this case n equal to 4 and our count of minimum element is 2. So we need to only convert these two element to 2 and 2. So our step needed is n minus count. Otherwise we will convert the whole array into 0. Like in this case we need to convert this whole element into 0. So our number of steps is equal to 4, that is n. So yeah, this was the code implementation. Anuj, do you have any doubt?
Yeah, I think it is not clear what the count variable is representing.
The count variable is representing the count of the minimum element. Like uh, if we have 5, 7, 8, then the count element is representing the count of 2. Like if I is not equal to minimum, then I would be equal to minimum value. That is 2. So yeah, we can do it in separate for loop also. That code is little bit confusing here.
Yeah, okay, I think that is a pretty much clear to the audience.
uh,
Uh,
I think we can, I think now it is clear to you.
yeah, yeah. Now it is much more understandable.
Okay, so mm, this was for today's video. Thank you for watching. Anuj.
Yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Keep supporting us and keep subscribing the channel.